Howdy, 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 how's it going, everybody? There's no one here standing next to me today. Oh boy, today is one of those episodes I didn't mean to run. I was gonna walk this entire episode, and I just ruined it. Okay, so, there's been something horrible that has happened for today's episode. And I'm going to give some good news and some bad news. It's kind of one of those days. First of all, you may notice I have put stuff over the hotbar at the bottom and whatnot, using my trial version of Sony Vegas that I need to buy. I used to have one, but on this new computer, I can't transfer it, so I need to get the newest one, and so I'm gonna buy it. I'm just procrastinating. Anyway, I'm covering that up because I'm actually recording this really close to when this comes out, like just a couple days before this comes out. The reason for that being is that a long time ago, when we recorded this episode today, not this one, but the one you were supposed to have today, um, it was probably one of my favorite episodes I've ever recorded. Excuse the jets if you can hear that. They're always flying way too low. But I remember I recorded that, and it was on my old computer, and I had about 5 gigs left of space on there, and I tried to do a recording, and I remember that being just... What kind of jet is that? Sorry, it's distracting. Sounds like they're dropping bombs, and I hate that. Why does a jet always have to sound like it's dropping bombs? But anyway, where I was going with this is that it was one of my... Really, another one? You done yet? Any more? That party level's increasing a lot, but it was one of my favorite episodes I had ever recorded. I was so excited to have that saved. It was probably one of the most fun times I had ever had trying to do some sort of raid or Flyff, like dungeon kind of thing. Although, albeit that I have not done very many raids on any game. It was my favorite, and when I tried to stop the recording, OBS crashed, meaning I didn't get the footage. I had completely lost one of my favorite recordings I have ever done, and I had tried to do all sorts of things to restore it. I was downloading programs to restore files, like corrupted ones, broken ones, things that... even specific video repairing files, and it was still no use. The file had the correct length and not, and even like file size, but still that wasn't enough to fix it. So I'm gonna plug in my headset because it chooses now to start doing the low battery noise, and I really hope that you don't hear that, because if it drives me as nuts as it does, it will drive you as nuts. So let me just start over here. I lost the recording that was probably my favorite recording I have ever done in this series, and if you want to see what happens, you can go ahead and check out Taka Doroba's channel. I will even... no, I know me too well. I'm not going to put an annotation. I hate messing with annotations. But you know Taka Doroba, the Mr. Kagune, who is usually paired in these videos. He has this episode just fine, so don't worry. It's not like you lose the story or anything. But as far as my side of the series, I had planned on doing a special for you because I missed that episode. And what I was going to do is, you may or may not know, I am a 3D animator. I do 3D modeling animation as a hobby at home. I hope that one day it can be part of my job. I mean, I've made money with it, so I guess you could kind of call it a job, but it's more like a hobby. And what I had planned to do for you was to take the sounds from Brennan's recording and then do an animation on that. And it's gone really well, actually. So, like I said, there's good news and bad news. The bad news is that I lost the recording, and that I am now making this video here for you, so it is Friday, and you are getting me walking around this obscure section of St. Morning that I really wish was used for more things, because there's literally no point to any of this, and I think it's just a beautiful area. I've always tried to get Brennan out here to look around this area with me, but he always has his mind on something else, which I understand because there's nothing here. So bad news, I lost the recording. You're watching this on a Friday instead of something really cool. Again, you can check out Brennan's side of this. He's doing a lot better with the views on his side anyway. So I started an animation for this episode. What we were doing was a dungeon called the Wilds, and just total brain lapse right there. I started to do an animation on it. I've spent quite a lot of time on it. Like, I'm not even sure how to measure the time I've spent on this. I kind of kept it at my own pace when it came to creating the models. I have a model of my character. That's also why I'm not like holding any weapons or anything. I don't even know if I have these gloves yet in the part that you're watching. I was trying really hard to like future or spoil proof this episode because, oh man, if I could tell you what level I am right now. But I can't. I have no idea what this is. Just a random house inside the wall. Interesting. I get sidetracked way too easily. Anyway, there I go running again. So I have my model, I have a model for him, I've made all sorts of different weapons, I've made the landscape, I've textured things, I've made monsters, textured those, rigged those, and I'm really good to go actually. And it got to where I had a week left till this episode was going to come out. And looking at it, looking at the footage that I edited from Brennan's side just to get the sounds, I had a week to make the longest animation I have ever made. It's going to be around 15 to 20 minutes. The longest one I have made besides that was about 7 to 9 minutes, I believe. And if you don't know about my animation stuff, that might mean that you're watching this channel thinking that this is my only channel. This is actually my second channel. I've never gotten around to actually mentioning that before on either of the channels, is that this is my gaming channel. I have a sort of my official channel is an animation one, and I started putting video game stuff on there, let's plays and whatnot, and they were not doing so well on there because most of the people had subscribed to me for my animation stuff, and so that's what made me decide to run over here and find a guy with the same name as me. And so it made me decide to make a second channel to make the let's play stuff, because obviously animation takes a really long time and I wanted to have fun doing game stuff on YouTube as well. So that's why you're watching this on Tucsonian Eskimo Auxiliary, I believe it is called right now. I am really looking into changing that to something easier for people to remember. I really need to do that because not many people know that Tucson is a city. This guy, like, you know, my name is Colin, so that's why I'm intrigued by this. He's large though. Anyway, so man, this episode is way longer than I wanted it to be. I wanted to make this all serious and whatnot, but let me just give you the news here. I had about a week to make the longest animation I've ever made, and it was going really well. It was about, so this comes out on Friday, it was about Tuesday that I had 2 minutes into this animation just about completed. There was a little bit of like polishing up that also needed to be done, but it was there. And to make things easier on myself, I tried to learn a new method of doing animation where instead of going through and animating literally, hello moonstone, okay, that thing poops moonstones, where instead of going through and animating every single motion, like just me walking around, I had to animate every single step, which takes a very, very long time. And so trying to learn how to be more professional with my stuff, I have gone into, at the same time as trying to get this important animation done in time, I tried to learn something they call the NLA editor, which is the nonlinear action editor, which basically means I can go in and animate a walk cycle and then save it as like a chunk, like this is the walk cycle, and then go into this other editing system besides keyframes and just drag in these blocks that I have pre-created and loop them and whatnot. So that was going to save me hundreds of hours of time. And as things usually happen when you try and learn new things, stuff goes wrong, and I lost that first 2 minutes of animation. It was still there, but it was just wrong. They were standing in a certain spot, and then once I tried to switch it into the block, for whatever reason, they just decided to stand off in random places and not where they were supposed to be, and I can't edit that block, so... Anyway, I'm not going to get into the technical stuff. I have an animation coming for you guys. I was really hoping to make it a surprise, but as things are going right now, I don't think it's going to be done in time. This is actually the first time I've played Flyff in like 2.5 weeks or so, because I've been working on this and things like that. So good news is you have a extremely cool 3D animated special coming along. I can even put some pictures up here for you so you can get a little taste of what it's going to look like. It's not going to be one of those sad one limb moves at a time, people flying across the ground and sliding. It's going to look good, so don't worry about that. And so I don't want to give myself a new deadline, because it's been really scary staying up till 3 or 4 in the morning every single day, and then waking up in the morning and just working on it until 3 or 4 in the morning again. But I'm going to try for Wednesday, because, you know, every now and then I would do those Wednesday episodes. So I apologize. What is that about? Why is there just stuff on the floor? Inventory full. What does that do? Increases attack by 100 and PvP damage for 30 minutes. That's pretty good. And I didn't want to show my pack. I have nothing I can drop, so... Whoop. Okay, sorry, I did want that thing. It was pretty good. So, I apologize that you had to watch an episode today of me running around just talking. I can't even fly because I don't remember... Oh, there's one out here. And they're a hero. Interesting. I don't want to talk, though. Not that they would talk to me anyway, because I don't have a letter next to my name yet. So I'm sorry that you had to see this episode instead of the real episode. Again, if you want to see it, there is Brennan's side of the video. His channel is Takadaroba, Takadroba. It kind of sounds like Ticonderoga from Pencils. That's how we came up with that name. So you can watch that and see our hilarious attempt at a dungeon and our hilarious deaths. Multiple deaths. It was some really great stuff. I was so happy with it. And then other good news is that there is going to be an animated part, I can't read and talk at the same time. There's going to be an animated version of it coming out probably sometime next week. I'm really going to try my best to work on it as hard as I can. Get it out as soon as possible. I just apologize that I couldn't get it out on time. It was already looking pretty scary to get it out on time, but then with some added problems that I've encountered, I've posted on forums about it. People are in the works of helping me, but it's really slowed down the progress. And now, because rendering is a thing, and to render a 20-minute animation is probably going to take at least a day or two. I'm recording this on Wednesday, so you can see how I'm probably not going to animate 15 minutes of animation in time to render it today. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. There's a blue egg on the ground. Do I have one of these? No, I don't think I even want it. I hope you enjoyed just listening to me talk and run around and whatnot. Again, go watch the episode from Brandon's perspective. It's really one of my favorite things that we've ever done in this series. And look forward to the animation that comes out. I believe it's going to come out on my actual animation channel, but I will also post something here to direct you over there if you don't want to subscribe to that. Anyway, just no worries. No worries. Hakuna Matata. Hope you have a good one, everyone. And goodbye.